Hi, during my previous lecture we covered the topic of money supply, money demand. We also covered what happens when there is an increment in the injections. During this video clip, we are going to move to the section 19.3 in the textbook. We are going to cover the ISMP model. So let's go to my full desktop. So this is the ISMP analysis. So we are going to use the curve investment and savings, and we are going to also look at money and inflation, this curve, in order to arrive to a relationship between the money and the goods market. So we would like to get to know like an interaction between both markets. During the previous lecture, we covered what is the equilibrium point when, or what is the national income when if we have a change in the injections. So the idea is that we are going to find all the lines that the line of equilibriums when we have changes in different levels of investment and savings in the money market. The same for the money and inflation side of the market. So the equilibriums, we are going to arrive then to the equilibrium in the goods markets, and we are going to see how the interest rates are a key tool for monetary policy in many countries. So we are here under the assumption that the countries use actually inflation rate targeting, yes, and control the inflation through interest rates. So let's talk first about the IS curve. The IS curve includes the real interest rate, the national income, and the equilibrium in the goods market. Yes, so we covered this during the previous lecture. Yes, we arrived to a change in the national income and the real interest rate, and an equilibrium obviously in the good market. So in the next steps, we are going to derive the IS curve, the elasticity. We are going to cover the elasticity of the IS curve and what makes the shifts in the IS curve. So we start here in this slide. So we assume that an interest rate I, this one, I1, gives the curve S1, yes? So we have here the curve S1 and the curve I, investment, savings and investments. Remember, and we are going to make a strong assumption here, that well, withdrawals include savings, so we are going to take the other variables that include withdrawals like constant, yes, so this is taxes and imports, and we are going to do the same here for injections, so government expenditure and exports are going to be constant. So we have this relationship and they are going to look the same. Investment is an exogenous variable. This is why we have here a horizontal line for investment, and savings actually is endogenous. So it changes according to different levels of income in the economy. Right, so we have here then this line. The y-axis is the injections and withdrawals, and the x-axis is going to be national income. The same here, we have interest rate. At this level of interest rate, we have this level of national income, which is the equilibrium point. So this is going to give us the first point of the curve. So let's now imagine that we have a change in, assume that interest rates fall, yes, so we have this change from I1 to I2. As you can see, if we prolong this line here to this new equilibrium point, you will see that this one here, this increment in income due to like a lower interest rate is going to translate in an IS curve. The only thing that we'll need to do is to join here the dots. So in a nutshell, this is when, obviously, when injections equal withdrawals, this is when the economy is in equilibrium. So in brief, every time that we change the interest rate, we have here like a line, we can develop the line or the IS curve when we change the level of interest rates. Yes, and these levels of interest rates are going to give us different levels of savings and investment. Yes, I think that is the rationale is obvious. If the level of interest rates drop, so the level of savings will drop and the level of investments will increase. Yes, obviously investors are going to benefit from lower interest rates, and savers are going to obviously get impacted, so they will try to decrease their savings. As you can see, therefore, we can model this IS curve when we have different levels of interest rates. This question is for you. Which one of the following will cause the IS curve to shift to the left? Yes, so the right answer is a decline in business confidence. So a rise in interest rates will not make that will, if we have a rise in the interest rates, we are going to have a movement along the IS curve, yes, along that IS curve that we created before. A fall in interest rate is going to be a movement down the IS curve. And a fall in national income. Well, I think you know that national income is one of the model variables, so it's not an exogenous variable. We will have exactly the same movement on the IS curve. And a decline in business confidence, this is actually a exogenous variable, yes, which is impacting the model. In this case, we will have a shift in the IS curve to the left. In general, we can say that negative news will shift the IS curve to the left, positive news to the right. I say in general, but not always. And a fall in saving, this answer. So if there is a fall in saving, what will happen with the IS curve? Well, is the investment and savings curve. So if there is a fall in savings, that means that investments is possibly increasing at the same time, because as you remember, that will bring the national income up, right? As in the previous graph. So so this will not move the IS curve to the left. Right. So let's now think about the MP curve. The MP curve is the national income and the real interest rate chosen by monetary authorities. So we are thinking here in this model, IS-MP model, in one economy in which when the central bank has the control in terms of the money supply, and it tries to target inflation. So in the next slides, we are going to derive the MP curve and the elasticity of the MP curve and the shifts in the MP curve. So let's go to the next slide. So here we have the rate of interest rate in the y-axis. In the x-axis, we have national income. So let's say that we have this interest rate. We are starting in this point A. The economy is currently at this level of interest rate. And at this level of interest rate, there is a certain national income in that economy. If we have a rise in the income, yes, that will lead to a higher rate of inflation, and then the central bank will raise the interest rates to try to bring the inflation down. towards the target. So say that we have a huge spike now in growth, yes, more than the central bank wants. So in that case, the central bank then will increase the interest rate to I2 to try to control inflation. Remember that inflation are the price levels. Yes, so if we have a boom in the economy, it's possible that the prices are going to rise too much. Actually, we are not facing a boom now. But it's possible that because of Brexit we are going to face inflation, but this is not going to be a demand drive inflation, it's a cost push inflation because of the border. Yes, we are going to pay more tariffs and probably transportation costs are going to increase, and administrative costs, red tape, in order to try to import more things. But we are going to talk about inflation later on. The fact is that if a national income increases more than we want, yes, so therefore the central bank will have to increase the interest rate. So we can say that we have this other point B. So therefore, if we join the dots, yes, of the possibilities of increments in national income and the responses of the central bank, so therefore we will have the MP curve, which obviously you can see here how it targets P. I say before that P denotes inflation, or pi, sometimes it's called pi, although I think the right pronunciation is P. Okay guys, this question is for you. Which one of the following will cause the MP curve to shift upwards? Yes, a fall in the target rate of inflation. So how the MP curve can shift upwards? I say that positive news usually shift the curve to the right, negative news to the left. Actually, a fall in the target of inflation is not like a very bad negative news, really, for this relatively on the level of inflation, or the level of the target rate of inflation. But I suppose that if there is a fall in the target of inflation, is because either we have like a deflation scenario, or probably the central bank is trying to cope with the problem of deflation. Yes. So let's imagine then that if there is a fall in the target of inflation. If that happens, then if we have an increment in inflation, immediately, therefore, the central bank is going to increase even more the rate of interests. And you will see how, therefore, the MP curve must shift to the left. We have as other options a rise in the real rate of interest. Yes, these two, these three, as they are these variables in these three options, are part of the model. They three will cause movements along the MP curve. Option D, a rise in the target of inflation, will be the opposite. If there is a rise in the target of inflation, an increment or a new increment in national income will not increase that much the rate of interest. So therefore we will have actually a shift in the MP curve to the right, or downwards. So we have now here this equilibrium in the goods and money markets, yes, where we can put them together, and this is how then the market clears the right level of interest rate, yes? So let's imagine that the economy is not in equilibrium, we are at Y1, yes? So we are here, yes, in this point. At this level, the central bank will set a real rate of interest rate equal to I1. Yes, so this is the rate that is set by the Central Bank of England, let's say, right? So, but at this level, as you can see, the economy is not in equilibrium. This level of interest rate will cause a fall in the national income to Y2. Yes? So if we are here, we will pass to Y2 because as the economy is not in equilibrium, the goods market is not clearing this interest rate, so therefore there is a gap there. So the IS curve, the investment and savings curve, will have here this level C and Y2 that will cause this fall in national income to Y2. So the central bank will reduce the interest rates, yes, as we have a new fall in national income. The central bank, which is very like acting upon this real national income, will then increase again the interest rate to try to achieve the target rate of inflation and national income. Yes, this time it will increase, or it will carry on like increasing and decreasing the interest rate up until it finds the appropriate rate of national income that is clearing at certain rate of interest rate I sub E, and we are going to call it like this. In doing that, a central bank is targeting a rate of inflation at certain level of growth. Yes, so a move along the MP curve from B to A. Yes, that is what is going to happen in this exercise. So here we have the ISMP analysis of changes in the goods and money markets. The economy is in equilibrium, and we have a rise in the injections. A rise in injections will shift the IS curve to the right. So I say that positive news will generally will shift this curve to the right, negative news to the left. So a rise in injections means that we have an increment either in investment, government expenditure, or exports. Very good news for the economy. So investment is going to increase more and more. That is why the IS curve shifts to the right. As a result of this, as you can see, we have a new equilibrium point Y2. Yes, as a result of this increment in the injections. And the market is going to clear at a very different interest rates, yes, which is I2. So central bank, after this increment in the injections, is going to forecast this equilibrium interest rate I2. So here we are analyzing now an ISMP of like analysis of changes in the goods and money markets. So let's now imagine that we have a loosening of the monetary policy or a rise in potential national income. Yes? So if there is a loosening of the monetary policy, yes, what do you think is going to happen? We are going to have a shift to the right or to the left. So if you think about a loosening of the monetary policy, you will think in a positive news that will mean that money in the economy will increase, right? As money increase in the economy, the interest rates of equilibrium will decrease to I3. Yes, so we have this new equilibrium point. The same happens with the rise in the potential national income. Again, is good news for the economy, so the central bank would like to increase or decrease the interest rates to a level in which is going to approach the most it can to the potential national income. We have then a third scenario, which is a shift in both curves. Yes, so a shift in the IS curve due to an increment in the injections, yes, any of the injections, investment, government expenditure, or exports, and as well a shift in the MP curve due to a loose, the central bank loosening the monetary policy, or an increment in the national or the potential national income. As a result of this, as you can see, the economy will move from point Y1 to Y4 in this model at the same level of interest rate, I1. This question is for you. If there is a rise in potential national income, yes, that is the correct answer. B is the correct answer. So I say that a rise in potential national income is good news, so that will shift to the right the MP curve. As I explained before, as there is an increment in the potential national income, so the central bank will modify or will amend their expectations about what is good, a good national income, and so then is going to decrease the interest rates to try to approach the most it can to that potential of the economy. So interest rates will fall and the curve will shift to the right, trying to serve or to deliver the highest national income. Okay, guys, so this is the lecture number 2. I will set an example later on in my next video.